So I think aside from writing all these scripts that you do and rewrites, but you also do like speaking engagements and you go to conferences and stuff?
I do. I speak a lot at conferences, actually. And I do a lot of workshops, which are a lot of fun. I love teaching. And so, and then I also do consulting when people hire me to read their scripts. So I do that too, which is also great because it's also another form of teaching. When I do consulting, usually they obviously give me a feature that I'm giving notes on, but it's really not about notes for that particular script. It's about teaching them how to become better writers. And so that's a lot of fun for me too.
Oh. And so they can go to your website, which we'll have underneath the video, and they can contact you.
The information is there, yeah.
Okay, great. Let's say I'm a hypothetical person attending one of these conferences, and then I'm one of the people waiting in line to talk to you, and just say, hey, really enjoyed the information. I was wondering, ... and that is, how can I become a working writer so I don't have to work a part-time job? I just want to go right into it.
I think that everybody's journey is so different in this business. If you want to become a doctor, you go to med school, you do your residency, and you become a doctor, and you go work at a hospital. That's not the way it works in the film industry. The key to success in the film industry is being open to opportunities and being able to see them when they come. Everybody has sort of this type A personality plan, right? Where we go, okay, so I want this by this date, and then I'm going to try to do this. And we think of that as being ambitious, right? That we have a plan, we're working towards something, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if you get too obsessed with that, so much so that you don't see opportunities that come to you that may not fall in that plan, you can miss out on a lot of opportunities. And so, like I tell this story, I've told it before, when I was in film school, a friend of mine did zombie movies, and there was only 5 girls in my class, and so I was always a zombie in one of his movies because he had no one else to choose from. And so years later, fast forward, we're graduated, and he's a real producer, and he calls me up and he's like, hey, Christine, I'm doing a real zombie movie. Do you want to come down and be a zombie just for old time's sake? And I was like, sure, I'll come down for one day. And so I go down and I'm sitting there and I'm in full zombie makeup, like my hair is teased out, I'm green, and I'm sitting there with the background. And if you've ever been on a film set, you know that, background is pretty boring. You're sitting around most of the time. And, but it's fun and it's a great day off. And as I'm sitting there, I meet this guy, also a zombie, who had just arrived from Boston, and he had gotten a part on an HBO series called Carnival. This was actually several years ago. And we start talking, and he tells me that he has the rights to this off-Broadway play, and he's looking for someone to adapt it. So at the end of the day, he was a cool guy, really nice. I tell him, well, if you need someone to adapt that into a screenplay for you, let me know. And then the very next day, the director calls me, and he's like, I hear you're adapting our off-Broadway play into a screenplay. I was like, oh yeah, I did commit to that yesterday, but sure. So, well, let's meet and talk about it. So I go to meet with him and the director and this guy, and I realize when I get to the coffee shop we're gonna meet, I don't know what they look like because we were all dressed as zombies. And so I have no clue what they even look like. So we finally find each other, and we end up doing a short. And that short premiered at the LA Latino Film Festival. And that was great. It was a great experience. I got to walk the red carpet, wonderful. I just did it to be nice, right? After just doing something to be nice for my friend from college. A year later, I get a call from them, and they're like, you know what, Christine, we have some good news. Based on the short that we did, we've got financing to make the feature. Do you want to write the screenplay for $25,000?
Wow.
And I mean, yeah, of course. No, I'm going to say no to 25 grand. So especially when I was still in debt and all, and this was during that period of 5 years where, I was just doing things to be on film sets and to network. And so yeah, I did that. And again, that was an opportunity. Still very proud of that film. That film became Hotel California, starring Tatiana Ali. Wow. Had a great cast. It premiered the following year, so 2 years later, as a feature at the LA Latino Film Festival, and did very well. So again, you have to be open to opportunities. I never went into playing a zombie thinking I'm going to meet somebody who's going to have me write a short that we're going to then turn into a feature. It doesn't work out that way. Just make yourself available and try to meet the right people, and create situations where people owe you favors and they want to work with you again. And when you can do that, then those opportunities will start to come. But you've got to be able to recognize them when they happen.
That's a great story. I feel like we're in this sort of like hacking bubble where everybody's got it, wants to try to like make this quicker and make that quicker. And if I follow this person on social media, they might just put me in the project, which it all happens. I know that it does, but I feel like we're in this new era of everything's got to be quicker. And it sounds like you, although I'm sure you wanted certain things to go faster, you did things a little bit of a different way.
But I think a lot of it was, I never went into all of that thinking that there was going to be some payoff. I just loved being on film sets. I loved meeting other filmmakers. I love taking an off-Broadway play and adapting. I'd never done that before. And so for me, it was more about the love of doing those things rather than the payoff of somehow I can turn this into a moneymaker for me, or somehow I can turn this into a rung in my career. It was never ever like that. So, Deepak Chopra says, we make every decision based on love or fear, right? So all of those decisions, when I look back now, I know were based on the love of writing and the love of becoming a screenwriter, not the fear of, am I wasting my time helping this person when I should be helping that person because they're gonna pay me quicker, or they're gonna get me into their movie, or they're gonna do this. It was never like that for me.
Right, I like that. So your intention was different. It wasn't about what were you going to get.
Right, and when you're not looking at when you're not trying to see what the payoff is down the line, there's no disappointment in it when the payoff doesn't come, because you're open to whatever that's going to lead you to next.
Right, and so since you're quoting Deepak Chopra, I'm going to quote Louise Hay, since we're going there. And her thing that I love that she would say was, well, that's not $1 million, and people stomp on it and walk away from it. Because again, we're looking for, I'm sure everybody would love to walk the red carpet, but it took these little steps. It took you going to the set. It took you talking to this guy, forming a relationship, a business relationship, and then that happened. But people just see that result of, oh, she's on the red carpet.
Exactly.
I want to be there.
Exactly. And they don't really know what it takes to get there. And that's why, again, you have to be so careful about letting yourself become resentful. Like looking at other people and where they are and saying, well, why can't I get there? Why can't I get there? That energy is not well spent. So focus on, why are you writing? If your goal, and just honestly, be honest with yourself. If your goal is to make money, if your goal is to be famous, if your goal is to be recognizable and have a name, then this may not be the career for you, because there are easier ways to get those things than by being a screenwriter. So I think if you just can say, I love writing, I want to see what today brings, and enjoy every moment that you get to be on set, you get to be talking to directors, whatever you're doing. These writing conferences are a great example. When you go to these writing conferences, people are there because they just love to write. They're just soaking it in, and it's such a creative, inspiring environment. Spend your time doing those things, right? And take every piece of information that you can and learn and become better at what you do. Because the gratification that you get from becoming really good and writing something and saying, wow, this is pretty amazing, nothing compares to that. Not walking a red carpet, not seeing your name on television, nothing compares to that feeling.